Okay, so now with these questions, these are really easy because if the number you're dividing by is a multiple of 10, especially if it starts with the number 1 and ends in a 0, then all we basically have to do is jump left from the decimal point. And we jump according to the number of zeros. So for example, 14.07 divided by 10, all we need to do is jump once from the decimal point left, once, because there's 1 0. So we'll just jump this way left, and the new decimal point will be here, so we can rewrite the question as 1.407. This next one here, it's the same thing. So we have a number here that we're dividing by that starts with 1 and has all zeros there. So now, again, we start from the decimal point and we jump left according to the number of zeros we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means that we start from the decimal point and we jump left 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Decimal point goes here. We have an empty space here, and we know already that we need to put a 0 when that happens. So our final answer here would be 0.05332. This next one over here, same thing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, so we start from the decimal point and we jump left 4 times. So we'll do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We stop here. This is where the decimal point goes. And again, we have some empty spaces here, and we'll just fill those with zeros. So our final answer will be 0.0007205. Okay, so now this is getting a little bit more interesting, because now the number we're dividing by doesn't start with a 1. It does end in a 0, which is fine, but what it means is that we need to factorize so that at least one of the factors is a multiple of 10. Now we can say, for example, that 5 and 12, which are both factors of 60, that's fine, but that's not going to help us. It's going to make our job just as hard. So what we want to do is we want to factorize so that at least one of the factors is a multiple of 10. So in this case, we know 6 and 10 are both factors of 60. And the reason why this is helpful for us is because 15.9 divided by 60 is the same thing as 15.9 divided by 6 and then divided by 10. So it just makes our job a lot more easier, and I'll just explain how. So what we want to do first is get the number that's being divided. We want to put that in the division sign, and then we put the divisor outside the division sign, so the 6. So we go ahead as per normal, and we just divide this number by 6. So 1 divided by 6 doesn't work, so we'll go and ask the question, how many times does 6 go into 15? And we know that 6 goes into 15 at least twice. 6 times 2 is 12, so 15 minus 12 is 3, so the remainder goes on the next place value. And yes, I forgot to put the decimal point again. That's not good. Okay, so now we're asking how many times does 6 go into 39? Well, 6 times 6 is 36, so 6 goes into 39 at least 6 times, and there's a remainder of 3. So we put it next to the next place value, which is now a 0. And now we ask the question, how many times does 6 go into 30? And we know the answer to that is 5. Okay, now it's easy, because now we're going back to what we did previously. We're dividing, which means we always jump to the left, and we jump to the left according to the number of zeros. In this case, we can do that because the first number is 1, and we just have zeros. So all we have to do is start from the decimal point and jump according to the number of zeros that we have, which is 1. So we just jump once and we stop here. So our final answer for this question is 0.265. Okay, so let's do another one. So we have 23.7 divided by 30. We want to factorize, and we want one of the factors to be a multiple of 10. So we know 3 and 10 are both factors of 30. So now this is helpful for us because that means that basically 23.7 divided by 30 is the same thing as 23.7 divided by 3 and then divided by 10. So that's what we've got to do now. So how many times does 3 go into 2? It doesn't, so we put a 0 there. I forgot to put the decimal point again. Okay, next question is how many times does 3 go into 23? And we know that 3 goes into 23 how many times? Well, 3 times 7 is 21. So 3 goes into 23 at least 7 times. 23 minus 21 is 2, so we put the remainder next to the next place value. And now we're asking how many times does 3 go into 27? And we know the answer to that is 9. Okay, so now we have 7.9 divided by 10. We have the first number being 1 and the rest of the place values being 0. That means that all we have to do is start from the decimal point and jump left according to the number of zeros. So we'll do that. We start from the decimal point and we jump left and we stop here. So our final answer to this question will be 0.79. Okay, so we'll do one more and I'll give you some more of these questions in class. So again, we want to factorize because the first number doesn't start with a 1, but it is a multiple of 10 because it ends in 0. So we want to factorize so that it's helpful for us. And the factors that are helpful for us is 7 and 100. Because again, 164.5 divided by 700 is the same thing as 164.5 divided by 7 and then divided by 100. Again, that's what we're going to do now. So we put the number that's being divided into the division sign and the number we're dividing by outside. And now we just go through the same process again. How many times does 7 go into 1? It doesn't. We put a 0 there, and I forgot to put the decimal point above the decimal point. Apologies for that. And then we go and ask the question, okay, so 7 does not go into 1. How many times does 7 go into 16? We know that 7 goes into 16 at least twice because 7 times 2 is 14. So 2 goes up on the top. 16 minus 14 is 2. So the remainder is 2 and goes next to the next place value. Okay, and now the question is how many times does 7 go into 24? We know that 7 times 3 is 21. So 7 goes into 24 at least 7 times. 24 minus 21 is 3, and we put the remainder next to the next place value. And now we're asking how many times does 7 go into 35, and we know the answer to that is 5. So now we can rewrite this answer we got, and now we can divide it by 100. Now it's useful because the first number is 1, there's all zeros after that. So now we just start from the decimal point, we jump left according to the number of zeros that we have. So we'll do that. We start at the decimal point and we jump twice because there's 2 zeros there. So once and twice, we stop here, put the decimal point there, and we can rewrite the answer as 0.275.